Chapter 81 There is a reward every time. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Before Song Jiro could stop her, Yi Fan ran to the dry goods store next door to buy supplements for Song's father and mother. Yes, pack this box of birds' nests and the cordyceps over there for me. And these isinglass and deer antlers, pack them together and give me the total price. The owner of the dry goods store was so happy that he packed it up according to Yi Fan's instructions. Senior brother, this is enough. My parents won't be able to eat it if you buy more. Song Jiro hurried over to stop him, so that Mark would not have to empty out the entire store. Hello, sir. These total 20 and 3. I will give you a 0 and it will be 20. How do you pay? Swipe your card. Yi Fan handed over the card. Song Jiro watched Yi Fan spend another 20 yuan. If she had known that Mark would have to spend so much money on gifts when he went to have a meal with her parents, she would never dare to ask him out. Here, Yi Fan successfully spent 21, ding. It was detected that the host was a good-looking woman with a score of 95 and spent 21 yuan, triggering a critical attack. Congratulations to the host for getting the Splendid hotel worth 1 million yuan. Ho ho, as expected, every time you spend money on junior sister Song, you can get a reward. Moreover, this Jinjiang hotel happened to be the hotel that Song's father and Song's mother had arranged for. This was just right. He had heard of the name of the Splendid hotel. Usually, if you don't have any money, you can't make a reservation, so you can waive their order later to save Song's father from spending money. Yi Fan made up his mind and pulled Song Jiro, who looked sorry for his money, into the car. Soon, Yi Fan drove Song Jiro to the Splendid hotel. When the welcoming staff saw Yi Fan, their eyes immediately changed and they recognized him and wanted to say hello to him. When Yi Fan gestured not to use it again, he quickly put back the boss he wanted to blurt out, then he respectfully led the way to the private room where Yi Fan was going, and then hurried to inform the manager of Yi Fan's arrival. Yi Fan carried a few bags of convenient supplements and entered the box with Song Jiro. Song Jichang and Lin Peichin were already waiting inside. Seeing Yi Fan and Song Jiro appear, the couple's eyes suddenly lit up, especially Song Jichang, although he had long heard from his wife and daughter that the lifesaver who successfully cured his disease through surgery was very young, but he didn't expect it to be such a young man. Song Jichang quickly stood up and stretched out his hand to greet Yi Fan. Mr. Yi, thank you very much for accepting our invitation. If it weren't for you, how would I be able to save my life and be alive now? As Song Jichang spoke, he took Lin Peichin and bowed to Yi Fan to thank him. Uncle, you are too polite. You are Jiro's father. Of course I have no reason not to save you. Yi Fan quickly helped the two elders up. These are some supplements that I brought for you two first. I will have the rest of the supplements and fruits delivered to your home directly. Oh, Mr. Yi, we obviously want to thank you, but you brought so many gifts. How can we be so embarrassed to accept them? Lin Peichin quickly excused herself, and then immediately asked Yi Fan to take a seat. Song Jichang handed over the menu and asked Yi Fan to see what he wanted to eat. Yi Fan brought the menu to Song Jiro again. Junior sister, you can order it, I can do it, so you can also take care of the taste of your uncle and aunt. By the way, uncle and aunt, you can just call me Xiaoya, it will make me feel closer. After hearing Yi Fan's words, Song Jichang and Lin Peichin couldn't help but sigh with emotion at Yi Fan's thoughtfulness. From all aspects, this young man is not only excellent, but also has such good conduct and etiquette. He is really a rare good boy. Song Jiro had no choice but to take on the responsibility of starting the dishes, but looking at the expensive prices on the menu, Song Jiro remembered that she hadn't clarified her doubts with her parents. She was very supportive and felt that inviting Yi Fan to come to the Splendid hotel was appropriate, but in such a big hotel, the reservation fees for private rooms are generally quite high. And if you don't have connections, you may not be able to get an appointment. Then why did his parents suddenly make an appointment at the Splendid hotel? Song Jiro quietly asked Lin Peichin, who was sitting next to her. Mom, how did you and Dad reserve a private room at the Splendid hotel? Speaking of this, we have to thank the Pan family when the time comes. Lin Peichin showed a look of relief. This boy from the Pan family is not as bad as others said. He heard that our family wanted to find a good hotel to get together, so he took the initiative to help reserve a private room in Jinjiang. Even the box fees were paid for by him in advance. Song Jiro frowned unconsciously as she listened. Pan Yueza, the son of the Pan family, as his mother calls him, has always been a famous bully in their family. Before she left home to go to school, she had been blocked by him several times. Would such a person change his gender for no reason? Song Jiro thought about it, always feeling uneasy. After asking about the price, I had to first transfer the box fee to Pan Yueza through my mother's mobile phone. Before Song Jiro finished the operation, the tightly closed door of the box was suddenly opened. The person who came was none other than Pan Yueza, whom Lin Peichin had mentioned just now. Pan Yu looked at the familiar three people in the box and was about to speak. Then he saw Yi Fan sitting between Song Jichang and Song Jiro. Again, He originally thought this was just a gathering for members of the Song family. Why is there an extra pretty boy here? But looking at him like this, he is a weakling, and it will only take a minute to drive him away. Aunt Song Shulin. Do you like the box I booked for you? Pan Yu stared at Song Jiro with a squinting expression, and asked the Song and his wife maliciously. Song Jichang and Lin Peichin were a little confused when they saw Pan Yueza's sudden appearance. Very good, thank you, Yuze, but where are you coming now? After Song Jichang asked, Pan Yu immediately showed a lewd smile. Of course I came here to have a meal with Sister Jiro. Uncle Song and Aunt Lin, you don't really think there is a free lunch in the world, do you? Seeing Pan Yueza's obscene expression lingering on Song Jiro, the Song couple finally understood Pan Yueza's purpose. They originally thought that someone outside had wronged Pan Yueza. I didn't expect him to be so uneasy and kind-hearted. Song Jichang became angry and said, Pan boy, you booked a box for us. We would have repaid the money. We will transfer the money to you now, please leave quickly and don't bother us here again. Upon hearing this, Lin Peichin immediately picked up her phone and started operating it. Pan Yu, on the other hand, immediately pulled up a chair and sat down. Aunt Song Shulin, you are out of sight now, aren't you? I have paid for this box, which means this is my territory now. Just let me, a junior, treat you to a meal. My request is not too much. I just want Sister Jiro to drink a few glasses of wine with me, and then go out together to have fun in the evening. Chapter 82 The Big Boss of Splendid Hotel. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Pan Yu made it clear that he wanted to fight here. Anyway, he has already paid the money. As long as he does not accept the money transferred to him by Lin Peichin, don't you have an excuse to stay and tease them? And the private rooms at the Splendid Hotel are really not cheap. It cost him tens of thousands of dollars. If he hadn't been thinking about Song Jiro, a pretty girl, he wouldn't have been willing to bleed like this. Song Jichang was so angry at Pan Yueza's shamelessness that he pointed at him excitedly and just about to curse him. He couldn't help but cough. Song Jiro and Lin Peichin quickly supported Song Jichang and gave him some relief. Yi Fan stood aside and listened to Pan Yueza talking for a long time. Finally, I figured out the cause and effect of the situation before me. It seemed that this guy was using the matter of booking a box in front of him to threaten Song Jiro and the Song family. Pan Yu felt Yi Fan's gaze, stood up and came to Yi Fan with a disdainful smile. By the way, I almost forgot about you, kid. This private room is where I will have dinner with Uncle Song and his family. You little pretty boy, get out of here. Do you hear me? Pan Yu said, and pointed at Mark with his finger. Yi Fan sneered, stretched out his hand and grabbed Pan Yueza's fingers, and pulled them down hard. What? The shouts of killing pigs suddenly sounded from the entire box. Pan Yu quickly broke free of his fingers from Yi Fan's hand and stared at Yi Fan in disbelief. Are you fucking crazy? You actually dare to attack me? If I don't take it seriously with you, you really think I'm a vegetarian, right? Yi Fan glanced sideways at Pan Yueza. Oh. Then how do you decide not to be a vegetarian? Pan Yu did not expect that Yi Fan would not only attack him, but also dare to provoke him again. Damn it, I am a little bully from Nansuan, how can I be looked down upon by this kid? Soon after, Pan Yu immediately waved his fist and went up to compete with Yi Fan. His ability to bully and dominate the market for so many years was not in vain. The Song couple and Song Jiro were extremely nervous when they saw that Pan Yu was going to fight Mark. I just wanted to persuade him to leave together and find another place." Then he saw Yi Fan kick out one foot quickly, directly kicking Pan Yu, who was running towards him 3 meters away, and hit the box door heavily with his whole body. After Pan Yu landed, he spit out several mouthfuls of blood from his mouth. The Song family were both shocked by Yi Fan's unexpected force level. "Xiaoye, you. I'm sorry, uncle and aunt, I didn't scare you, did I?" "No, your skills are really amazing." Seeing that Yi Fan was so relaxed that Pan Yueza couldn't get closer, Song Jichang and Lin Peichin admired Yi Fan even more. Pan Yu was extremely angry when he saw that the 4 people standing there didn't take him seriously at all. He has never suffered such a big loss in all these years. At this time, the manager of the Splendid Hotel also hurried over after hearing the noise coming from the box. He was originally instructing the chef to give Yi Fan a private room to quickly serve some good wine and food to entertain his boss. It had only been a while before such a big noise came from the box. He immediately didn't dare to waste a moment, for fear that something would bump into Mark. As soon as the manager opened the box door, he found a crooked-looking man lying beside the door. Pan Yu saw the manager coming and immediately complained. "You are the manager here, aren't you? Hey, you quickly find security to kick this pretty boy out. I reserved this box and I paid for it. I don't allow him to appear here." Pan Yu pointed at Mark fiercely, wondering how this pretty boy could disturb his good deeds here. Pan Yu stretched out his hand to ask the manager to help him up. However, after the manager heard what he said, he moved a few steps away, as if he was afraid that Pan Yu was next to him. "Sir, do you know who you were pointing at just now? This is the honest and upright boss of our Splendid Hotel. You asked us to drive away the owner of our Splendid Hotel. Listen to yourself. Is this possible? You, what did you say?" Pan Yu raised his head and looked at Mark in disbelief. The Song couple and Song Jiro also looked shocked. The most famous owner of the Splendid Hotel is actually Yi Fan in front of him. The manager glanced at Pan Yueza and was too lazy to talk nonsense with him. He quickly came to Mark in 2 or 3 steps. "Boss. I'm really sorry for disturbing you. You and the other guests please sit down. I will provide you with a comfortable and normal dining environment as soon as possible." After the manager finished speaking, he immediately clapped his hands, and 3 or 4 well-trained security guards walked in. "If you pick up Pan Yu, you will take him away." Pan Yu was held up by security guards, with his legs hanging limply in the air. He was unconvinced in his heart, but because of Mark's identity, he didn't dare to let out another fart. After all, we were on someone else's territory. Now, so if I really pissed him off, I'm not sure why I let these security guards beat me half to death. Pan Yueza had done things for rich people before, so he naturally knew their methods. It's no joke if those rich people get really ruthless. So it's a good thing that Pan Yu is just thinking about leaving as soon as possible. And many more. Several security guards held Pan Yueza up and were about to leave with the manager when Yi Fan stopped them again. The manager trotted back quickly. "Boss, do you have any other instructions? Let them bring this man back to me first. He broke into the box and gave my uncle and aunt a beating, but he hasn't apologized yet." Upon hearing this, the manager immediately asked the security guard to carry the person back and place him in front of Mr. and Mrs. Song. Yi Fan's voice was calm and authoritative. "Pan, you don't need me to teach you what you need to do, right?" Yi Fan said, looking towards the ground. Pan Yu glanced at Yi Fan cautiously, and then knelt down in front of the Song couple and Song Jiro. "Aunt Song Shulin. I really know that I was wrong. I was just talking nonsense. The money I paid for booking this box should be regarded as my filial piety to you 2 elders. You 2 adults have a lot, please forgive me this time." After all, the Song couple are kind-hearted and honest people. Seeing that Pan Yu had said so, naturally he would not embarrass him any more. "By the way, Miss Jiro. Miss Jiro, I promise I will never appear in front of you again. If I bother you again, I will be worse than a pig or a dog, and I will never be reincarnated again." Pan Yu has bullied many people, so he is naturally very familiar with the process of admitting mistakes. It's just that he used to make others kneel to apologize, but now the person kneeling has become himself. After apologizing to the Song family, Pan Yu moved his knees again and knelt down towards Mark. The little eyes were filled with endless fear. Chapter 83 One Bet. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Yifan didn't even look at him, he raised his chin directly. The manager and several security guards picked up Pan Yueza and took him away. Calm returned to the private room, and a row of waiters quickly brought in the store's signature dishes. We haven't ordered yet. Did you send the wrong one? Lin Peichin asked aloud. Ma'am, these are the extra gifts our manager ordered for you, that's right. Only then did Lin Peichin realize that this was probably because of Yifan, the restaurant owner. Xiaoye, originally we asked you to thank us as promised, but look at this. Song Jichang looked at the dishes on the table, and it was obvious that there was no need to order any more. It is inevitable to feel a little regretful. Uncle Song, there is no need to be polite to me anymore. We are all our own people. We will have many opportunities to have dinner together in the future, and this meal is not to be missed. After hearing what Yifan said about their own people, the Song couple lamented that Yifan was not only generous but also looked at Song Jiro's expression with tacit understanding. Song Jiro saw her parents suddenly staring at her, and thought of what Marquis said. A few blushes appeared on her plain face. It seems that the two children are attracted to each other. This made the two couples feel a little relieved. After a few glasses of wine, Song Jichang also started chatting. Xiaoye, you are the great benefactor of our Song family. The people here are all our own. I won't hide it from you. My daughter was originally picked up by us by a bridge. I originally thought that raising a child would be a good deed. But I didn't expect that after so many years, we, the couple, have become a burden to the child. Song Jichang's eyes began to turn red as he spoke. My heart and eyes were full of my heartache for Song Jiro, who had to take care of her studies and find every opportunity to work part-time for so many years. He had already heard from his wife about his daughter's interest in this young man. Today, I told Song Jiro's life experience in front of Yifan. I also hope that Song Jiro will no longer have any worries. Otherwise, with her temperament, even if she was suppressed by her grievances, she would not leave them alone as a couple. But now that my illness has healed, it's time to help my daughter and let her pursue her own happiness. Song Jiro was a little surprised when she saw her father suddenly talking about this while eating. He quickly stopped him and said, Dad, why are you talking about this when you're so good? Yifan was a little surprised when he suddenly learned about Song Jiro's life experience, but it's not the surprise itself, but she was surprised that Song Jiro knew she was not her biological child long ago, but she could still be so dedicated to her adoptive parents. How kind does one have to be to do this? A corner of Yifan's heart couldn't help but feel a little softer. The meal was finished quickly, and Mr. and Mrs. Song went home on their own. Yifan drove Song Jiro back to school. On the way, Yifan couldn't help but ask about Song Jiro. Junior sister Song, although this is your family matter, I don't have much time to interfere with it. But after all these years, haven't you thought about finding your biological parents? A moment of loneliness appeared on Song Jiro's face. My parents are so good to me. They are my biological parents. As for other blood relationships, I don't want to think about them. I only look at what's good in front of me. This is the first time that Yifan has seen the socially fearful Song Jiro express his thoughts so firmly. It seems that the relationship between her and the Song family is really deep. What a good girl who values love and justice. Yifan couldn't help but feel a little more pity for Song Jiro. Okay, then don't think about this anymore. After Yifan finished speaking, he looked at several supercars speeding away in one direction. Suddenly I thought there seemed to be some kind of racing road nearby. Junior sister Song, you are here. Senior brother, how about I show you how it feels to run as fast as flying? Just right for you to release your unhappy emotions. Yifan turned his head and smiled evilly at Song Jiro. Song Jiro hadn't reacted yet. Yifan had already stepped on the accelerator and started to use his top racing skills, driving towards the racing road with several racing sports cars. Looking from a distance inside the car, there are some flags planted on both sides of the road on the racing road. There are two cars preparing at the starting point. Looks like you're just in time for the game. Then it's better to compare with them to see how top-notch your top racing skills can be. On the other side, where the racing road begins, Gu Xinghuai was shouting through his car window with Shang Qing in another car. Qingya, we have an agreement. As long as I win first place, you will be my girlfriend. Everyone heard this clearly just now. If you lose later, don't default on it. Gu Xinghuai was full of confidence at this time. The vehicle he is driving now has been secretly modified by himself, the power is dozens of times stronger than before, which will definitely allow him to win this game. Shang Qingye, who was in another bright purple car, heard Gu Xinghuai's words. He just calmly pulled down his racing helmet mask to show his acquiescence. The referee's air gun sounded, and the two cars sped out from the starting point at the same time. Shang Qing also started off normally, and just like before, he left Gu Xinghuai behind at the beginning. However, when passing the first corner, Gu Xinghuai's car drifted past her vehicle. Shang Qing also faced this situation and couldn't help but frown. But when Gu Xinghuai passed her vehicle, the two cars ran parallel to each other. She clearly heard an engine noise that didn't sound right. Shang Qingye's eyes immediately turned cold. She immediately stepped on the gas and chased after him. The Gu Xinghuai Tua sports car in front was transformed into a sports car with rapid power, and indeed he came to the first place. The triumphant smile on his face couldn't stop rising. Qingya, now you have to be my girlfriend. Shang Qing also quickly took a bite with his excellent racing skills. However, no matter how she operated, there was always a gap between her and Gu Xinghuai's cars. This further confirmed her judgment. The expression on Shang Qing's face became more and more contemptuous, but she would not give up and continue to pursue him. However, at this moment, a completely different engine sound quickly broke into her ears, and the voice was getting closer and closer to her. A Koenigsegg entered the second corner parallel to her at an incredible speed. After performing a drift without slowing down at all, the front of the car quickly straightened up and entered the straight line. It didn't even take 2 seconds to catch up with Gu Xinghuai, who was about to enter the third corner. He directly stole his path and flew into the last straight section first. Using the word flying to describe the speed of that Koenigsegg is not an exaggeration at all, because of the way it was driving at this moment. Looking at it with the naked eye, it seemed as if the 4 tires were not touching the ground at all. Shang Qing also looked at Koenigsegg walking away, feeling uncontrollably shocked in his heart. What shocked her the most was that she knew the owner of the Koenigsegg. Chapter 84. Do you want me to hold you for a little longer? You are listening at novelfull.audio. The moment Shang Qingye's car ran parallel to Koenigsegg's at the second corner, she saw the man's profile clearly. It was Yi Fan who asked her for WeChat in the senior class last time. Shang Qing has never encountered many things that can make her emotions rise and fall. Being overtaken by Yi Fan's car today is considered a piece of cake. She is good at racing and has a good understanding of the performance of various sports cars. As a 4-seater Koenigsegg, it stands to reason that it would be difficult to surpass the speed of the lighter 2-seater supercar she is driving now, and she heard the sound of Koenigsegg's engine just now clearly. No modifications have been made. Therefore, Yi Fan who drove it was able to drive Koenigsegg to such speed and cornering skills. It may be that Yi Fan's own racing skills are already so top-notch that there is nothing to say. Shang Qing has also participated in many racing competitions, large and small. She has also met powerful people, but none of them are as outstanding as Yi Fan just now. It has completely reached the ultimate state of integration between man and car. Gu Xinghuai in front was happy just now, but in the blink of an eye he saw a silver-gray car silhouette flying past his car. Where the hell did this car come from? Why are you driving so fast to reincarnate? Gu Xinghuai finished cursing. Koenigsegg in front had already crossed the finish line first, and then sped away again. After Gu Xinghuai finished cursing, he drove into the final straight and rushed to the finish line. Phew! Fortunately, I am still faster than Qingye's car. That when Gu Xinghuai got out of the car, several rich second-generation boys immediately gathered around him. Congratulations, Mr. Gu, now you can finally hold this beauty back. Gu Xinghuai was also very happy, so he crossed his hands and waited for his girlfriend to be's car to cross the line. Shang Qing also crossed the line and got out of the car, but when he saw Gu Xinghuai walking towards her, Shang Qing didn't even bother to give him another look, and took off his helmet to leave. Qingye, do you remember what we just agreed to do? Gu Xinghuai rubbed his hands and blocked Shang Qing's path. After hearing this, Shang Qing raised his head and glanced at him. The words he spoke were so cold that they could freeze into ice. I remember, but that's not what we said. Can you be my boyfriend only if you get first place? Obviously, you are not number one. Gu Xinghuai thought of the Koenigsegg that caused trouble just now, and quickly started to argue. No, Kyoya, how can you think so? Although the Koenigsegg crossed the line first, we didn't compete with him. I beat you, isn't that enough? Shang-Qing couldn't help but sneer when he heard this. Did you beat me? With that loud engine sound, do you dare to say that you haven't done anything at all? Gu Xinghuai's little trick was exposed, and he stuttered for a while and, in my case, first place in this race is the Koenigsegg. If someone really wants to be my boyfriend, it will be him, not you. After Shang-Qing finished speaking, the scene where Yi Fan asked him for WeChat reappeared in his mind. I originally thought that he was just a suitable partner because of his money and status. Unexpectedly, he could actually beat me in a racing car, and his skills were so impeccable. Shang-Qing is also a strong admirer. She had to admit that Yi Fan really aroused her interest. Gu Xinghuai was scolded by Shang-Qing. In the eyes of the rich second-generation younger brothers watching, it is not. To mention how embarrassing it is, oh shit. All because of that damn Koenigsegg. Don't let me catch him. Otherwise, I must make him look good next time. On the other side, Yi Fan galloped down the racing road and drove the car back to Imperial University. Song Jiro was sitting in the passenger seat, her whole body sluggish. How could someone drive a car so fast? Her little heart was so scared that it stopped beating. When Yi Fan stopped the car steadily on the school road, Song Jiro still looked shocked. Yi Fan couldn't help but smile as if the prank had succeeded. Junior sister Song, school is here. Song Jiro quickly nodded blankly. Upon seeing this, Yi Fan got out of the car and came to the passenger side to pick her up. Song Jiro regained her composure and got out of the car. However, as soon as her feet touched the ground, she couldn't help but feel weak. He looked like he was about to fall as if he had lost his center of gravity. Yi Fan quickly supported her with quick eyes and hands, and Song Jiro fell into Yi Fan's arms. Just before the passing classmates had time to feel envious and jealous, they saw Yi Fan directly hugging Princess Song Jiro. Fuck. What did I see? Brother Shenhao hugs the school beauty of Song Dynasty in front of all the princesses. Could it be that the school beauty of Song Dynasty is the main palace? Several classmates who were lucky enough to see Koenigsegg driving school beauties everywhere in the past few days began to speculate with great interest. The campus forum quickly became lively again. Damn it, I've never felt so sad. The princess is hugging the school beauty. I can't even imagine how good it would feel to hold the school beauty Song. Coward, I dare to think that the onlookers watched Yi Fan leave with Song Jiro in his arms. All kinds of envious, jealous, and addicted emotions quickly spread from post to post. Song Jiro was carried by Yi Fan for a while before she came back to her senses. His entire face quickly turned red. Ah, senior brother Yi, I can leave by myself. Please let me down quickly. Song Jiro felt that she had just managed to suppress her racing heartbeat due to adrenaline. At this moment, her little heart was beating faster because of Mark's actions. And I'm very heavy. It will be very tiring if you hold me like this. After Yi Fan's genetic modification, his strength was hundreds of blocks ahead of ordinary people. Holding Song Jiro now, not to mention how relaxed she felt, and except for her long legs that take up some space, this girl doesn't have any fat anywhere else. Where is the weight? It's not heavy at all, just stay calm. Yi Fan carried Song Jiro all the way to the downstairs of her dormitory. Along the way, the two people's dazzling looks amazed the passing classmates. Arriving downstairs in the dormitory, Yi Fan finally put Song Jiro down. However, Song Jiro failed to stand firm and subconsciously grabbed Yi Fan's arm. It seems, junior sister Song, you still want me to hold you for a little longer, that Yi Fan teased with a deliberately evil smile. Where, there is no such thing. Senior brother, please, don't talk nonsense. Song Jiro quickly protested shyly. However, in the eyes of others, her protest looked more like coquettishness. Yi Fan saw Song Jiro blushing and not daring to look at him, feeling a little cute. The arm that Song Jiro was holding suddenly exerted force and pulled her whole body into his arms. Chapter 85 Why did you kiss your senior brother? You are listening at novelfull.audio. There is something that Yi Fan has wanted to do for a long time. This is a very common sight downstairs in college female dormitories. Seeing Song Jiro's blushing face, Yi Fan suddenly wanted to see her even more helpless. Song Jiro fell into Yi Fan's arms and raised her head in confusion. She saw Yi Fan's face slowly enlarging in front of her. Mark's warm lips directly covered her soft and pink lips. Song Jiro was stunned on the spot by Yi Fan's words. His eyes were wide open and he even forgot to breathe. Her mind was completely blank at this time, but her face, neck and ears were completely red. Relax. Mark's voice suddenly sounded on her lips. Song Jiro couldn't think at all at the moment, so she did whatever Yi Fan said. Under Yi Fan's guidance, he felt Song Jiro's clumsy response. Yi Fan wrapped his hands around Song Jiro's waist and rubbed it. This feeling of pure campus love with Song Jiro actually made him feel the real feeling of his heartbeat. The charm of his little junior sister was greater than he imagined. And she is really stupid. She just does what she says. Such a silly girl. If you don't watch yourself, you won't even know if you're abducted in the future, right? Yi Fan took advantage of the opportunity and penetrated a little bit with his lips and tongue. He clearly felt that the woman's body in his arms suddenly softened. The temperature of the skin that can be touched also becomes hot instantly. Song Jiro felt like her head was a little dizzy from being kissed. Her feet began to feel weak again, and she quickly subconsciously stretched out her jade arms to hug Yi Fan's waist. Yi Fan chuckled, and the offensive began to become fierce. He didn't let go of Song Jiro until he felt that the woman in his arms could no longer breathe. When I brought Song Jiro back just now, the sky was getting darker in the evening. The place where the two of them stood was also covered by hanging leaves. Therefore, the two of them were not disturbed much, and they were fully devoted. At this time, the two of them were a little apart, and Yi Fan saw a somewhat confused look on Song Jiro's plump and rosy face. I felt like I was being rubbed hard again. This woman, in a sense, was indeed the most fairy-like existence to him. Song Jiro's consciousness gradually returned. When she realized what had just happened between her and Mark, she felt like her face was about to explode, especially when she saw Yi Fan's particularly conspicuous lips. All the memories that made her legs weak invaded her again. We. Song Jiro wished she had a hole in the ground to crawl into now. Why did I kiss my senior brother? This is too shameful. And not only did she not refuse just now, she seemed to. I also really enjoy the way I put myself into it. What happened to me suddenly? Seeing that Song Jiro was as expected, she blushed and was extremely embarrassed. He walked around in circles for several times, not knowing what he was going to do next. Yi Fan chuckled and stretched out his hand to hug Song Jiro into his arms. The height difference between the two is just enough for Song Jiro's head to be buried on Mark's shoulder. If we talk about the kiss just now, when we kissed, Song Jiro was a little unable to react for a while, but now when she was hugged by Mark, Song Jiro realized it clearly. I didn't want to reject this embrace at all, but I still felt nostalgic for it inexplicably. Seeing the little girl quietly letting himself hold her, Marky hugged Song Jiro tighter. It's like it's being rubbed into your own body. Song Jiro finally stretched out her hand and gently hugged Mark's waist. The two of them looked like any couple in love on campus. After a long time, Yi Fan let go of Song Jiro and watched her go up the stairs. The two of them didn't say anything, yet they seemed to have said everything. Song Jiro returned to the dormitory with a sweet smile. Several roommates immediately gathered around him with their mobile phones. Jiro. Someone just took a photo of you being hugged by Brother Shenhao and Princess Shenhao on the forum. Are you already with him? Song Jiro listened to her roommate's questions and recalled what happened with Mark. His face turned red unconsciously. Jiro. You're actually blushing. It seems that what everyone said is true. Jiro, you are so awesome. You usually keep quiet and don't interact with boys, but you didn't expect to win a big one all of a sudden. And I heard that Brother Shenhao is very handsome. Tell us quickly, is he really handsome? For example, which artist does he look like more? Oh, just tell us. Several roommates quickly pestered Song Jiro to dig out more details. Oh no, stop guessing. Song Jiro was so shy that she ran back to her crib, and several roommates who were keen on gossip gathered around her again. there is only one female roommate who wears nail polish all the time. Not only did she not participate in the gossip, she also shot Song Jiro unkind and jealous looks from time to time. Yi Fan left from downstairs of Song Jiro's dormitory and headed back to the school road where Koenigsegg was left. I received an invitation to attend the Taito University shareholders meeting the next day. Good guy, he almost forgot that he also has shares in Taito University. How much is it? It seems to hold 65% of the shares. Yi Fan called up the system information and took a look. It was indeed the case. Anyway, if you have nothing to do, just join in. Yi Fan pressed the button to confirm participation, then he drove the Koenigsegg back to his penthouse duplex in Golden Mile, Washington, where he enjoyed a private chef dinner and an exclusive one-person spa. The next morning, Yi Fan set off from Jinjiang, Washington. Went to Taito University to attend the shareholder meeting. Just as Koenigsegg was about to pass the zebra crossing on the street, Yi Fan saw an old woman halfway in the middle of the road who was so anxious that she didn't know what to do because the light turned red. A black BMW happened to be blocked by the old woman, and the owner immediately honked the horn impatiently at the old woman. The car owner even stuck his head out of the car window and cursed angrily at the old lady. "You old fool, can't walk faster. If your legs and feet are not good, don't go out. Do you know how much money it will cost me if you block me?" The old lady was already in a panic, but when the BMW owner scolded her, she became even more confused. Yi Fan saw the aggressive look of the car owner and couldn't stand it anymore. He drove directly to the BMW and was blocked. The distance between the two cars is so close that a collision would occur if they were any closer. Yi Fan opened the door and got out of the car, came to the old lady's side to help her, and pointed at the BMW owner to teach her a lesson. "What are you barking at here? Won't you be considerate if the old man walks slower? Just give me one more beep." Chapter 86 Confrontation on the Playground. You are listening at novelfull.audio. When the BMW owner saw the Koenigsegg driven by Yi Fan, which was extremely expensive for him, he naturally did not dare to say anything anymore. He had no choice but to retract his head and wait obediently. After speaking, Yi Fan patiently helped his grandma. "Grandma is fine. I'll help you over now. Don't worry. The most important thing is to get over safely." Thank you, kind young man." That the old woman was so moved that her eye circles were a little red. With Yi Fan's help, she finally completed this extremely long zebra crossing for her. Seeing that the old lady had safely crossed the road, Yi Fan returned to his Koenigsegg. At this time, the BMW owner accidentally met Yi Fan's eyes and immediately looked away in fear. Not far from the two cars was a Rolls-Royce. An old man saw the whole process of Yi Fan's justice and couldn't help but remember the young man's face. There are not many young people with such a sense of justice these days. And it seems that his family background is not bad. He is different from those rich second-generation fools who only bully others. He's a good kid. After the old man finished sighing, the green light waiting for the Rolls-Royce also turned on. It unexpectedly coincided with the direction Koenigsegg was heading to. After Yi Fan parked his car in the school parking lot, he prepared to go to the first administrative building where the shareholders' meeting was held. After coming out of the parking lot and passing by the playground, Yi Fan didn't take a few steps. The way was blocked by Mao Zijuan, Sun Jiajing, and a group of younger brothers. Yi Fan took a look and realized these were old acquaintances. "Why, we were just cleaned up by the bodyguards last time. Are you feeling sore again today?" Yi Fan said sarcastically. When Sun Jiajing heard Yi Fan's words, he immediately became excited. "Yi Fan, you are protected by a woman. How dare you show off in front of us, right? Had I not happened to meet the school beauty Tang last time, do you think you would have been safe and sound until today? Without the protection of school beauty Tang today, let's see how long you can keep your stubbornness." That the students on the playground seemed to be having fun here. They gathered around. It turned out to be a duel between Mao Zijuan, Sun Jiajing, and Yi Fan. This handsome guy is a bit miserable. So many people are treating him like this. Aren't they clearly bullying him? You don't know, this guy flirted with all 4 school beauties in our grade class before. He was so arrogant. Is that so? You really should be taught a lesson. After all, taking away the school beauty is no different from taking away my wife. Several boys who knew something about the inside story immediately gathered around to watch with gloating, who told Yi Fan to be so brave that he dared to make enemies of all the boys in the school. Those are 4 school beauties. No one was left, how could they accept this? Some more neutral students looked at Yi Fan surrounded by so many people, they couldn't help but worry about him in advance. There are so many people. No matter how good this handsome guy is, he can't defeat many with one. Oh, that's right. It's a pity. Looking at the people who are coming to beat him, they are all so fierce and look like they won't stop until he is beaten to death. This handsome guy is more dangerous than good. Sun Jiajing listened to the speeches of the classmates and laughed wildly at Yi Fan. Let me tell you, Yi Fan, I have received inside information. Waiting for this time, the school's senior officials will focus on holding the shareholders' meeting. This is a good time for us to deal with you. If you are here, you can only make the sky and the sky not respond, and the earth cannot work. Sun Jiajing and the others laughed like brainless villains. Yi Fan asked with a serious look of doubt. Aren't you afraid that I'm just going to attend the shareholders' meeting? As soon as Yi Fan said this, Sun Jiajing and others laughed even louder. It's just you, and you're attending the shareholders' meeting? We're here to duel with you, aren't we here to listen to your jokes? Okay, don't waste time by talking nonsense here. Anyway, you have to bear the beating from me today no matter what. After Sun Jiajing finished speaking, he immediately walked to his younger brothers. The torture that Yi Fan had on his fingers last time left him with some bones that still haven't recovered after his cultivation. He has never been beaten in his entire life. How could he not hate being made like this by Yi Fan, whom he looked down upon? So this time he had already made an agreement with several brothers. Let a few of the younger brothers hold down Yi Fan first, and then I will cripple 5 of his fingers first. Xiaohu, Xiaoxi, Dafa, you 3 go first, hold him down for me. Yes, sir. The 3 younger brothers who were called immediately walked towards Yi Fan aggressively. The students who were watching were afraid that the fight would affect them, so they quickly stepped aside to make room for Sun Jiajing and others. Yi Fan looked at the 3 tall, short, fat and thin boys walking towards him. He couldn't help but shook his head. Why bother? I want to be this grandson's scapegoat first. The 3 of them suddenly looked at each other, and then rushed forward together to hold down Mark's 2 arms and one of his legs to control him. However, in Yi Fan's eyes, the actions of the 3 of them were as slow as a snail. I saw Yi Fan step back and use his right fist directly. As soon as he turned around, he punched away the 2 Xiaohu and Xiaoxi who were trying to grab his arms. Another kick was used, which sent Dafa flying to the ground, within 3 seconds of the whole process. The 3 of them were so beaten up by Yi Fan that they could not get up. The faces of the students watching were all shocked. What happens? Why didn't they see anything? The 3 boys who were about to hit someone were all thrown away. They are all lying on the ground now, looking like they are either dead or disabled. Sun Jiajing and Mao Zijuan looked at this scene with a moment of hesitation and fear in their eyes. This Yi Fan does seem to be much stronger than when he was bullied by them before, but then I thought about how many people they brought this time. As long as we all come together, it will be fine. Sun Jiajing and Mao Zijuan exchanged glances, not thinking about removing Yi Fan's fingers first. He shouted directly, brothers, come together. The 2 of them, together with nearly 10 younger brothers behind them, immediately rushed towards Yi Fan. It's over, this handsome guy is really going to die. This side is so incompetent. If more than 10 people beat one person, damn it if that handsome guy can beat him. Hey, let's just stand far away, lest we get accidentally injured later. The onlookers expressed a few words of regret for the helpless Yi Fan. He immediately pulled the nearby classmates who were also watching the excitement and took a few steps back. Yi Fan looked at the group of people rushing towards him, Mao Zijuan and Sun Jiajing who were at the front. The corner of his mouth twisted, and he had an idea. Chapter 87. It turns out to be the principal's electronic seal. You are listening at novelfull.audio. It takes a lot of effort to fight one by one, then let's use you 2 as tools, Yi Fan sneered, and easily grabbed Mao Zijuan and Sun Jiajing, who were the first to rush over. With both hands, the 2 wanted to break free, but found that Mark's strength was terrifying. No matter how they moved, they couldn't move even half an inch. Yi Fan. You, the two also wanted to threaten verbally. Before they finished speaking, Mao Zijuan and Sun Jiajing suddenly felt their feet leave the ground. The classmates who were watching also looked horrified, because Yi Fan had already held Mao Zijuan and Sun Jiajing's hands on the left and right, and raised them up. Damn it! What kind of strong man is this? However, just when everyone thought, Yi Fan controlled Sun Jiajing and Mao Zijuan with both hands, when there is no other way to resist the attacks from other younger brothers, the next second, Yi Fan directly threw up the two people holding his left and right hands, like a baseball bat. He knocked away every kid who rushed up next. Every time one of them flew away, the bodies of Mao Zijuan and Sun Jiajing suffered from the force. All the internal organs hurt. Before Yi Fan was tired from the beating, the two of them were in so much pain that they couldn't bear it anymore and asked for mercy. Huh? Are you going to stop now? You guys are not in good physical condition. And with so many of your younger brothers out in action, I'm sure the rain and dew will fall on both sides. This is only fair. So Yi Fan continued to shake the two bodies left and right, until they used them to knock down all the 10 boys brought by the two. At this time, Yi Fan took advantage of the situation and threw the two of them into the open space next to them. Mao Zijuan and Sun Jiajing's bodies, which were already vomiting blood from the impact, suddenly became a little more serious due to the impact. The students who were watching were all stunned with their mouths wide open. No one has any more unnecessary expressions, treating people like bats. One person can easily beat more than 10 people on the opposite side to the point where they can't even touch him. Oh my God, what kind of terrifying existence is this? Yi Fan happened to cast his gaze around, and the students who were watching immediately took a few steps back. If they backed away just now, it was because they were afraid of accidentally injuring them in a group fight. Now to step back, that means they are really too afraid of Yi Fan's strength. Yi Fan stood there and patted the dust on his body. Sun Jiajing didn't expect that he would be able to bring so many people with him and still be unable to deal with this Yi Fan. On the one hand, he was scared, but on the other hand, he really couldn't swallow this breath. He immediately glanced at the younger brother who was not involved in the fight and was mixed in the crowd. When the younger brother received the signal, he immediately left the scene in a hurry to report the news to the dean. Yi Fan glanced at the people lying on the ground, and his expression became serious. Sun Jiajing, if you don't keep your eyes open all day long and want to cause trouble for me and our dormitory, I guarantee that you will experience the ending like today, 1,000 times. And when you are the big brother, besides letting these little brothers follow you and get beaten, what do you let them get? Don't be so old, and still have a small brain all day long and only know things like bullying your classmates. Listening to Yi Fan's words, the students around him were inexplicably infected by his righteousness. I feel a little ashamed of what I just did just to watch the fun. I think this handsome guy is right. We classmates should live in harmony, so why do we have to fight to the death like this? Yes, and it's really too much for more than 10 people to duel with the handsome guy alone. If the handsome guy hadn't been strong enough, wouldn't it have been any other classmates who would have been beaten half to death by now? Some students began to reflect, think about whether you might tell the teacher or break up a fight if you encounter a similar situation in the future. At least don't be a passive observer. When Sun Jiajing heard the people around him criticizing him, his face became very ugly, because he was afraid that Mark would hit him again. He did not dare to raise his head, but all he could think about was that when his uncle, the dean of teachers, came, he would kill Yi Fan. Seeing that the time was almost up, Yi Fan was too lazy to look at these people anymore and stepped up to leave. At this time, Zhang Jin, the dean of their grade, ran over panting with a man behind him, blocked Yi Fan's way. Classmate Yi Fan. This classmate told me, are you hitting your classmates here on the playground? After Zhang Jin finished speaking, he saw more than 10 people lying on the ground. Especially after seeing Sun Jiajing, his expression immediately changed. Director Zhang. You're here just in time. Come and deliver justice. Look at what Mark Yi Fan has done to us. Sun Jiajing quickly took advantage of the situation and started selling miserably. Zhang Jin saw Sun Jiajing looking so injured that he couldn't stand up, and immediately pointed angrily at Yi Fan and yelled. What a great Yi Fan! You are so rampant in school in broad daylight. Do you know how big a mistake you made by beating your classmates like this? The onlookers looked at Zhang Jin pointing at Yi Fan and scolding him. They all feel that this is really unfair. Some students began to tell the truth about what they saw. Teacher, we students just watched the whole process. It was this classmate sitting on the ground who first brought a dozen classmates and said they wanted to duel with classmate Yi. Classmate Yi will hit them, just to protect himself and fight back. Yes, teacher. I can also testify. Several classmates immediately stood up to speak for Yi Fan. Teacher, I even took a video here. You can clearly see in the video that the classmate deliberately came to bully this classmate Yi. A girl showed Zhang Jin the video footage captured on her mobile phone. However, Zhang Jin just slapped her phone away. How do I know if you are united together to help this violent person to lie and excuse him? Anyway, what I saw when I came here is that the classmates you said came to settle accounts with Yi Fan are now all seriously injured and lying here. Yi Fan must bear the greatest responsibility. Now, Sun Jiajing, Mao Zijuan, and Yi Fan. Come to the great office with me. After Zhang Jin finished speaking, he did not listen to what other onlookers said and walked to the teaching building on his own. Sun Jiajing glared at Yi Fan fiercely, and then followed Zhang Jin with the help of fellow brothers Mao Zijuan. Yi Fan shrugged. Anyway, he would not be the one who was taught a lesson. Then look at what the dean will accuse himself of in the end. The students who were watching couldn't help but feel worried when they looked at Yi Fan's leaving figure. This teacher is too indiscriminate. That's right. There's no reason to accuse someone so unfairly. I hope that handsome guy can get justice in the end. Yi Fan and the other two followed Zhang Jin to the great office. Before Zhang Jin could speak, Yi Fan received a call. When I picked up the call, it turned out to be the principal's call. Chapter 88. The well-deserved largest shareholder of Imperial City. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The call was connected, and the respectful voice of the president of Taito University came over the phone. Hello, are you Director Yi Fan yet? I am Dong Ruichang, Xiaodong, the president of Imperial University. Dr. Yi, the other shareholders are almost here. When will you come over? Dong Ruichang's tone was extremely cautious, although from the information, he has long known that the largest shareholder who currently holds the largest share of Taito University is a senior male student of the school, but students are one thing, this director's identity is so clear-cut. No matter how young the other party is, he is even his student in name. Dong Ruichang also had to call himself Xiaodong in front of Yi Fan to show respect for him. Yi Fan heard the principal's question and chose to answer honestly. Oh principal, I'm in the fourth-year teacher's office now. I can't leave now. The dean of students won't let me go. He also said I made a big mistake and wants to punish me. When Dong Ruichang heard this, he was so frightened that he couldn't hold his phone. Director Yi, please wait for me for a while, I will go over immediately. There must be a misunderstanding here. Okay, come on then, I'll wait for you. Yi Fan answered casually and hung up the phone. Zhang Jin saw that Yi Fan was not afraid, but even called him and said some paranoid words. I was so angry all of a sudden. Yi Fan. You are so insignificant now, aren't you? The teacher hasn't educated you yet, but you are here to answer the phone. You really don't take me seriously, right? Yi Fan also wanted to respect Zhang Jin, but just now on the playground, he ignored the classmates around him to prove his innocence and insisted that it was his fault. Yi Fan knew that this Zhang Jin should be Sun Jiajing's high-level relative of the school who had been talking about bullying others. There was really no need for him to respect the teacher who provided his junior with the capital to do evil. Teacher Zhang, just tell me how you want to punish me. After all, Sun Jiajing is one of your own, and everyone present knows it. Zhang Jin's true identity was revealed by Yi Fan, and his face suddenly became a little uneasy. When Sun Jiajing saw that Yi Fan knew about his relationship with the dean, he naturally would not hide it anymore. Yi Fan, you're not stupid. That's right. The dean is my uncle. You don't really think that if you are stronger, I can't deal with you. With my uncle here, you hurt us like this, you just wait to be expelled and kicked out. That when Mao Zijuan saw someone supporting him, he immediately became hardened. That's right. You have 1 semester left to graduate before your senior year, but you are expelled. Yi Fan, I'm afraid you will have no future in your future, Mao Zijuan said and laughed together with Sun Jiajing. Zhang Jin coughed and asked the two of them not to be so public. The two of them stopped laughing again, but looking at Mark's expression, they looked like a villain. Yi Fan. Don't excuse yourself by talking nonsense here. You have seriously damaged the school spirit and discipline of our Imperial University by actively beating your classmates like this. As the teacher in charge of your school's ethics and discipline, should punish you. What you did is of a bad nature. Let your parents know that you have been expelled from the imperial capital. I will report the details to the principal and superiors. There is no room for recovery from this matter. Zhang Jin recalled what Sun Jiajing had begged him to say before, saying that after catching Yi Fan, he must be punished to death. Yi Fan was directly given the biggest punishment that a student could suffer, who told him to mess with his nephew. Of course he was helping his relatives but not taking care of him. After Zhang Jin finished speaking, a loud shout suddenly came from the office door. Wait! No expulsion allowed. Everyone looked towards the source of the sound. Dong Ruichang rushed in with a face full of fear, pointed at Zhang Jin and cursed loudly. Zhang Jin! Are you too brave? Who allows you to expel students at will on your own initiative? Zhang Jin saw a puzzled look on his face when he saw the principal questioning him. I have never seen such a big reaction from the principal in the punishment results I arranged in the school in the past. Why is he so excited now, calling his name and scolding him directly in front of these students? Principal, Yi Fan. Just when Zhang Jing was about to report to Dong Ruichang what he had said about Yi Fan's actions, he saw the principal reaching out to tell him to shut up. And do you know the true identity of the student Yi you want to expel? Dong Ruichang's questioning made Zhang Jin even more confused. Real identity? What kind of bullshit real identity can an ordinary senior have? Just as Zhang Jin was about to answer, he was interrupted again by Dong Ruichang with an angry face. Dong Ruichang came to Yi Fan and bowed deeply, then explained with a sword gesture. Zhang Jin, listen to me. The student Yi standing in front of you is not just an outstanding senior student of our Imperial University. At the same time, he is also the shareholder who owns the largest number of shares in our entire Imperial University. He is the well-deserved largest shareholder of our Imperial University senior management. Dong Ruichang's sonorous and powerful voice came out. The other three people in the entire office were stunned for a moment. Immediately, the entire space fell into silence. Principal, are you serious? Zhang Jin asked in disbelief. Dong Ruichang was almost angry to death from Zhang Jin, so he directly pointed at him and cursed him. I am a great principal, when have I told lies? In our shareholders meeting today, what all shareholders are most looking forward to is Director Ye's participation. But because of you, the shareholders meeting has not started yet. That the deafening truth reached the ears of the three people. Zhang Jin looked at Yi Fan's calm and smiling expression, and suddenly his legs were so weak that he collapsed to the ground. Sun Jiajing also showed the most frightened expression he had ever seen, and his body began to tremble, not to mention Mao Zijuan, who was so frightened that his adrenaline surged. Even the place where the injury was originally hurt no longer hurts. Only then did the two men react. Yi Fan just told them on the playground to attend the shareholders meeting. It's actually a fact that can't be true anymore. Now they were completely dead. What Mao Zijuan was shouting just now is that Yi Fan's life has no future. Soon it will become a true portrayal of their two lives. Dong Ruichang carefully observed Yi Fan's face, and just received an anonymous report of a group fight video on his phone. He immediately turned to the three of them angrily and made the decision to punish them. Chapter 89. The end is even worse. You are listening at novelfull.audio. What a good Zhang Jin. I didn't expect that as the dean of the school, you can't distinguish between right and wrong to this extent. I have received the video from the students. I originally thought you had some misunderstanding in preventing Director Yi from attending the meeting. I didn't expect that you would frame Dong Yi like this in order to protect your own children. Open your eyes and see clearly who is bullying the minority in this video, and who is blocking who is not allowed to leave. Dong Ruichang glared at the picture on the phone screen in front of Zhang Jin. Zhang Jin didn't know that this was his intention to mess with Yi Fan. He hurriedly raised his eyes to glance at his phone, and then buried his head in fear, seeing that Zhang Jin was afraid of being like a dog. Sun Jiajing and Mao Zijuan were even more frightened. Dong Ruichang saw Zhang Jin's guilty look, and the truth of the matter was obviously clear. Zhang Jin, since you are so presumptuous about the position that the school has given you, I now officially announce that you will be completely removed from the list of promotion candidates previously drawn up by the school. Furthermore, the school will also formally notify you of expulsion for your improper behavior and abuse of power for personal gain, and will also be sent to the entire Imperial Capital higher education community. After Dong Ruichang finished speaking, Zhang Jin's whole body went limp. After this operation, no school will dare to ask for it anymore. The Imperial Capital has completely blocked his escape route. Zhang Jin regretted it to the extreme at this moment. I had known that Yi Fan's identity was so important, even if he was given a few hundred courages, he would not do such a thing for that useless nephew. After Dong Ruichang finished speaking, his eyes moved to Sun Jiajing, who was trembling at the side. Classmate Sun, classmate Mao. The two of you openly fought in the school and bullied your classmates. It has caused a very serious negative impact on the image of our Imperial Capital University. As the principal, I will now expel you two as the initiators of the incident. As for the other students who caused trouble with you, all of them will be given major demerits. After Dong Ruichang officially finalized the punishment of expulsion, Sun Jiajing and Sun Jiajing suddenly felt that the sky was falling, and they quickly cried and begged for mercy for themselves. Principal, we will graduate in 1 semester. If you really fire us, what will we do in the future? That's right, Principal. Please show mercy. We really know we were wrong. Being expelled from a university like Taito University, where all aspects of connections and power are intimidating, was expelled just before graduation. If word of this spreads out, even if they want to sneak into other universities to get their diplomas, other universities will not dare to accept them. Seeing that the principal was completely indifferent, Sun Jiajing and Mao Zijuan reacted. He quickly moved to Mark on his knees, kowtowed and admitted his mistake, hoping that Mark could help them talk. In the past, they would never have imagined that they would one day kneel down to Mark. Director Yi. After all, we are also classmates. Please spare us this time. Yi Fan snorted coldly. I'll spare you this time. You have been doing evil for 4 years in the Imperial Capital. Bullying classmates and teasing girls, haven't you done these things enough before? Now that the knife is inserted into your body, you know it hurts. Only then did Dong Ruichang realize from Yi Fan's words that these two people were habitual school bullies, and Zhang Jin's role as a protective umbrella is definitely not done once or twice. He immediately became furious again. I really didn't expect it. There are so many dark corners in our Imperial University. It's really my fault as the principal. Sun Jiajing, Mao Zijuan. Now our Imperial Capital will not only expel you, but also set up a special team to thoroughly investigate your previous bad behavior. Including you, Zhang Jin. You have repeatedly shielded them and caused damage to the image of our Imperial Capital. I will also send the relevant legal team to pursue you to the end. The 3 people who were already paralyzed on the ground were completely stunned. Why did they end up even worse after begging for mercy until the end? Zhang Jin was so angry that Sun Jiajing was so smart that he rushed over and slapped him twice. By the way, haven't you two ever doubted why Shirkai hasn't been making trouble with you lately? As expected, the brotherhood among villains is so plastic that it's funny. Yi Fan pretended not to mention it. Sun Jiajing and Mao Zijuan only realized this later. It was obvious that Shirkai had known about Yi Fan's power, and he still watched them looking for death on their own. The two of them gritted their teeth with hatred. After the principal officially informed them of the punishment results of the three were also kicked out of the office. Sun Jiajing and Mao Zijuan ignored their physical pain and went straight back to the dormitory. The two of them immediately pulled Shirkai out of bed and beat him violently, and because he was going to be fired anyway, they were even more cruel to Shirkai. On the other side, the students near the playground who were Still worried about what happened to Yifan were extremely excited when they heard the punishment for Sun Jiajing and Sun Jiajing in the report. The female classmate who took the video was worried that Yifan would be treated unfairly, so he chose to post the video of the duel online. Now that justice had been served, she quickly wanted to delete the short video she uploaded. However, when she entered her homepage, she discovered that the video she had just posted of Yifan easily counterattacking a dozen people had already received 10,000 likes. Even the number of likes is still increasing at a terrifying speed. Netizens left messages in the comment area. In this society where campus bullying is often banned, we need such positive energy to resist. Because of this, the female classmate did not delete the video. Later, the video exceeded 1 million views in just one day, achieving a small-scale exit. In the senior year office, after all the punishment arrangements were completed, Dong Ruichang dared to come over and personally greet Yifan to the conference room of the shareholders meeting. By the way, Director Yi, because of your special status, our name and personal information were protected at the highest level on the campus network to avoid risks. I wonder if you think this arrangement is okay. Or do you need to relax a little more? But when Yifan heard this, he finally understood why his Koenigsegg had been discussed so many times on the campus internet. His own name and class were not revealed much. It's good. Just keep it as it is. After all, I'm still a student now, so I can feel more comfortable in campus life. Dong Ruichang finally relaxed a lot after being praised by Yifan. Fortunately, there is one thing that satisfies Director Yi. The two chatted and quickly walked to the door of the shareholders' meeting room. Chapter 90, The Granddaughter Still Has a Chance. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Director Yi. Please come inside. Yifan nodded and walked into the conference room under Dong Ruichang's invitation. The shareholders sitting in the conference room heard the movement and cast their eyes in unison. After seeing the person clearly, all of their faces were filled with puzzled expressions. Principal Dong, didn't you say you were looking for Director Yi? Why did you bring a student here? That's right, it's getting late now. Principal Dong should hurry up and get down to business and find Director Yi. Seeing the reactions of the shareholders, Dong Ruichang quickly cleared his throat and invited Yifan to the main seat and said, Dear shareholders, let me introduce to you, this is Chairman Yifanya, the new largest shareholder of our Imperial Capital University. At the same time, he also happens to be in his senior year at Imperial Capital University. What? The shareholders were frightened by Dong Ruichang's introduction. Is the young man in front of me the man who bought 65% of the shares of Taito University in one fell swoop? And he is actually a student, and he happens to be studying at Imperial University. This is too outrageous. All the shareholders immediately stood up and collectively bowed to Yifan to say hello to him. Among them was a shareholder who was obviously older. He was shocked, and after seeing Yifan's appearance clearly, he felt a little more surprised and appreciative. Isn't this young man the same young man he saw sitting in the car in the morning, who took the initiative to get out of the car to help the old man rescue her and help her cross the road? This shareholder is none other than the old man sitting in the Rolls-Royce in the morning, Ni Xiangtian, the head of the Ni family, one of the 7 aristocratic families in the imperial capital. After all the shareholders said hello, they sat down. Ni Xiangtian's eyes were still curiously placed on Mark. Unexpectedly, this young man was not the rich second generation he thought he was, but an upstart in the industry who had worked hard on his own. The admiration in his eyes became more intense. It would be great if such an outstanding young man could fall in love with his granddaughter. In this way, that girl Leng Yu won't have to work so hard to manage the entire group by herself. The main reason for this shareholders meeting is that everyone wants to see who Director Yi, whom they have never met, is. As for other content in the meeting, Dong Ruichang and some senior officials reported on some of the school's recent scientific research results and cooperation projects. During the meeting, Tang Xiao sent a message to Yifan. Yifan, the Ferrari you gave me has been sent to school. I'm just not very good at driving. Are you free recently? Can I ask you to teach me? That Yifan looked at the message and smiled lightly. This little girl is quite good at making excuses. Okay, I'm still having a meeting in the school administration building. You can come directly to me later. Tang Xiao was so happy when she saw the news that Yifan said it was okay. but when I saw him saying that he was having a meeting in the administration building, I was a little confused. Do students in the school also need to go to that kind of place for meetings? Forget it. As long as I can meet Yi Fan. Tang Xiao smiled and replied with an emoticon of nodding obediently, and then rushed to the administration building on time. At the end of the meeting, the shareholders lined up to say goodbye to Yi Fan, thinking of giving themselves a familiar face. When everyone was almost gone, Ni Xiangcai slowly came to Yi Fan and handed over his business card. Hello, Director Yi, I'm Ni Xiangtian. Can I meet you? Ni Xiangtian's age seems to be that of Yi Fan's grandfather, Yi Fan, who has always known how to respect the elderly and care for the young, immediately showed more respect than when facing other shareholders, and if his surname was Ni, if he guessed correctly, then this person must be Ni Lenyue's grandfather. Hello, Grandpa Ni. Ni Xiangtian was surprised by what Yi Fan called him, and his heart suddenly warmed up. As the largest shareholder, he doesn't have any arrogance and is willing to call him Grandpa Ni. The more Ni Xiangtian looked at Yi Fan, the more he admired him. You're welcome, Dong Yi. I think Dong Yi is very attracted to Mian Shan, so I came here boldly to get acquainted with you. I hope you won't mind. No, this junior should have said hello to you first. Yi Fan's etiquette was in place and he looked neither humble nor overbearing. Ni Xiangtian smiled happily and was about to say a few more words to understand Mark Fan's situation. Tang Xiao jumped to the door of the conference room. Yi Fan and Ni Xiangtian looked at her at the same time. Tang Xiao jumped up to Yi Fan and saw Ni Xiangtian next to him. Grandpa Ni. Are you here too? Tang Xiao carelessly took Mark's arm and greeted Ni Xiangtian. Ni Xiangtian looked at Tang Xiao's eyes full of Mark, and he started to guess. Yao, you and Dong Yi are in a relationship between boyfriend and girlfriend. Tang Xiao didn't expect that Ni Xiangtian would ask her about her relationship with Mark so directly, and her whole face turned red instantly. No, Grandpa Ni, we still don't have a single horoscope. Tang Xiao answered, but kept glancing at Mark secretly. The fact that she likes Mark should have been obvious in front of him, but it seemed that Mark had never shown any interest in her in front of her. This is why she always has to find excuses to come to Mark from time to time, and her answer just now clearly showed that she hoped that the relationship between the two would take a further step. She hoped that Mark could admit or add something after she said this, but Yi Fan did not respond to the topic of her and Grandpa Ni. Tang Xiao couldn't help but feel a little frustrated. Ni Xiangtian couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief when he heard Tang Xiao's answer. Looking at it this way, my granddaughter still has a good chance. Okay, Director Yi, let's talk more next time if we have a chance. Ni Xiangtian left, and as he walked, he began to think about what occasion could bring Mark Yi Fan and Ni Lenyue together. Tang Xiao watched Ni Xiangtian leave, and then turned to ask Mark in confusion. Yi Fan, why did you suddenly get to know Grandpa Ni? And why did he call you Director Yi? Could it be that he also knows your identity as the director of Baoli Real Estate? Oh, no, we happen to be holding the Taito University shareholders meeting here, so we met him. Wait a minute, you said you're here to hold a shareholders meeting. Tang Xiao's face was full of surprise. Yeah, what's wrong? Yi Fan asked indifferently. Oh my God, may I venture to ask how many shares you hold? Not a lot, 65%. Upon hearing this number, Tang Xiao's heart exploded. Yi Fan actually doesn't say much about the 65% shares of Imperial University. This is Taito University. The gold content is beyond words.